So today we are still factoring, but we're going to use that AC method that was on yesterday's notes. So it might be helpful to also have the steps out from yesterday's notes. Oh, yeah. 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 Answer the bottom question and then turn in the warm-up. Okay. So for factoring using the AC method, I need to know what my A and C terms are. So I'm going to go ahead and label them. My A is 2. My B is 1 because there's no coefficient in front of that X. And then my C is negative 15. So then, guys, quiet down. Then what I want to do from here is I want to take my A and C value and multiply them together. So I'm going to take that 2 and multiply by the negative 15. No, it's AC. And I'm just writing below it, A times C. So 2 times negative 15 is negative 30. So what I want to do is I want to look for what multiplies to negative 30 and adds up to my B value of 1. Yeah. So you said that was 6 and negative 5. So what I want to do after I have the 6 and negative 5 is I'm going to break my middle term. I'm going to split it into 6x and negative 5x because it still equals 1, but I'm breaking it into 2 pieces. But I'll give you a second to copy this down before I write that out. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to write my first term the same, but I'm going to, instead of being x, I'm going to write this as positive 6x minus 5x, because if I added those together, it would give me back the x, and then minus the 15 at the end. That's not changing. Okay, so what I want to do next is I want to break these up into 2 groups. So I'm going to draw parentheses around them. Okay, and then I want to divide out which each group has in common. So I'm going to look at them as separate groups. So what do these two terms in my first group have in common? 2x. So I'm going to factor out 2x. And what do I get left over? X plus 3. And then I'm going to do the same thing for my second set of terms. So what do these two have in common?
3.
Negative 5. So I'm going to write negative 5. If I had had a positive number, I would put plus whatever number it was that I pulled out. You will always pull out something on your second set of terms, even if it's 1. Okay. Why is it negative? Oh, okay. So what do I get after I take out the negative 5? X plus 3. So what do you notice about what I've written? Okay, x plus 3 is the same. So what I'm going to do is the opposite of distributing. I'm going to group together the two outside terms. So I'm going to have 2x minus 5 in one set of parentheses. And then the repeated part just gets written once because I'm undoing the distributive property. And that is my final answer. Questions there? Yeah?
This seems like a very complicated process of remembering all of it.
I know, it's a little tricky at first, but it's a lot like the next thing we'll do. Yeah?
Can you like do the Xbox method? Because I know for sure that's like way easier. I did it last year.
You can do it when solving these, but the next thing we're going to do is literally factoring by grouping.
Okay.
So I was just doing this to get you more practice with the grouping. So the next thing we're going to do is called factoring by grouping. Guys, it's basically like what we did. We break it up into two sets of binomials. We pull out a piece from the first one, we pull out a piece from the second one, and we combine them. So, let me flip my page over. This one wants me to use factoring by grouping to factor this polynomial. So I'm going to first start off by splitting it up into two sets of binomials. Okay, what can I pull out of my first group?
X squared.
Okay, x squared. So when I pull out the x squared, what am I left with? X minus 2. And then on my second group? Negative 3. So I write the negative 3 out front. And then what am I left with there? X minus 2. So they're the same. I can do the outside pieces get combined together, so x squared minus 3. And then the repeated part gets written once, x minus 2. Can I factor my first term more? It has a squared like we were working with yesterday. Why? What? Oh, it's negative. It also had to be negative yesterday.
Negative 3 isn't perfect in negative square.
What was that like?
Negative 3 isn't it's not a perfect in negative square.
Yeah, it's not a perfect square, so I can't go any further. So this is my final answer. Questions here? Okay, so the last thing we're going to talk about today is sum and difference of cubes. This is similar to difference of squares in the fact that I want to find perfect cube roots. It's different because I can also have addition in between my perfect cubes. So addition ones factor like this. It's a plus b times a squared minus ab plus b. And then the difference of cubes is just subtraction, and all that changes is the sign in the first group and the sign in the second group right before the AB. So the first group always matches the signs of whatever my sum or difference is. Okay. So just like yesterday, I'm going to start off by finding my cube roots of each of my terms. So for A, I want to find the cube root of x cubed. So what number times itself 3 times is x cubed? X. And then I want to do the same thing for 27. Yep, which is 3. If I didn't know that, I can use a calculator. And then if I go to math, my fourth choice, oops, it's off the screen. My fourth choice, it's because it's dark out, or the light's off. My fourth choice is cube root. And I would click that, and then type in 27. So now that I have my A and B, which one do I want to plug into? The yellow highlighted one or the orange one? Okay, orange because it's got a minus in the middle. So I'm going to have x minus 3 for my first term, or first group. Then for my second group, I square my A term. I'm going to have a positive sign. And then I take my A and B values and multiply together. So x times 3. 3x. And oops, I messed up. These should be squared on the notes. Okay, so then I should square my B, which is 9. And I can't go any further because this is a special pattern, so this is my final answer. So, questions there on number 6? Okay, on number 7, is 3 a perfect cube? So what do you think I want to do with it? Yep, I can factor it out. So that's going to give me 3x cubed plus, what's 192 divided by 3? Okay. And now I can find my A and B values. So the cube root of x cubed is x. And the cube root of 64? 4. And then I can rewrite this. So in my first group, I'm going to have, first quick question. Am I using yellow or orange highlighted one? Yellow. So I'm going to have x plus 4 in my first set of parentheses. In my second set, I'm going to square my x. So that gives me x squared. Then I subtract for this one. So for sum of cubes, it has a minus in front of the AB. It's always opposite what the sign is. So what is A times B? X times 4. 4x. And then my final term, 16. That is my final answer.